Hi students and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning session. This is Science by Harsha ma'am and for class 8. So do you remember which lesson we are doing? Yes, you are intelligent enough so you might be remembering that we are doing the easiest lesson, which is coal and petroleum. So now try to recollect whatever part we have done. In lecture 1 we did about the resource, natural, man-made, exhaustible and inexhaustible. Then we discussed about the minerals. After that we discussed in detail about the coal. This was taken in depth. With coal, what we had discussed, its formation, then its uses, destructive distillation, from that the products obtained were this. This is all the content that we have done up till today and a quick review on all of these concepts so that things become more and more easy for you and for me. So let's start on with the content. We started with what is a resource, anything that is helpful to humankind. That is a resource. It is basically bifurcated into two parts, that is natural and man-made. Natural is bifurcated into two parts, exhaustible and inexhaustible. Don't think ma'am is going fast because ma'am is doing the recap. Okay, the full form of recap is recapitalization, that is quickly revising whatever content we have done. Exhaustible means it will get over at some time because it is available in the limited quantity. Inexhaustible means it is available in more quantity, it is available in unlimited. While we were doing this, I had also discussed about you regarding the coal in detail. Here the example is coal, while here the example is for exhaustible, the example is coal, and inexhaustible, the example is the water, light, sunlight, all that things. Then coming to the minerals, minerals should be used judiciously. Why? The only reason is we have to keep it for the future. Then in depth we had discussed about the coal, about the formation of coal, that is the anaerobic thermal degradation of wood or the cellulosic material, what it is called as carbonization. And this carbonization process leads to the formation of the fossil fuel, which is called as coal. Coal is of how many types? Basically, depending on the proportion of carbon, the coal is of 4 types, that is peat, lignite, bituminous and anthracite. Try to recall, I had also said you that lignite is the coal that is available in large proportion near the Bhavnagar, Kokha port. Okay, in the city that is we are living in the nearby place. So that's what I wanted to say about the types of coal. Then we discussed about the uses of coal. What are the uses of coal? Coal is basically used as a fuel. Then in the manufacturing of coke, coal tar and coal gas that we saw by the destructive distillation of coal. In the manufacturing of synthetic petrol and synthetic natural gas. Then in making various organic compounds like benzene, toluene, formaldehyde, acetone, naphthalene, etc. etc. Phenol. Okay, these were the uses of coal that we have already done. And then next is the destructive distillation of coal that we discussed. What is the destructive distillation of coal? Destructive distillation of coal means it is done because first of all coal is not at all pure carbon and it is containing various other impurities along with it. So we need to heat it strongly in the absence of air. So in the absence of air, when the coal is heated in its powdered form, then breaking up of coal and heating it at about 1000 to 1400 degrees Celsius temperature in absence of oxygen, then that is called as the destructive distillation of coal. The products obtained are written over here, that is coke, coal, charcoal, gas, and the ammoniacal solution, that is the aqueous solution. Aqueous means pani varu, that means containing water. Water, along with it we are having ammonia and the ammonium salts. The next particular part that we had discussed was in detail, we had discussed about the coke. What is coke? The grayish black residue, try to recall in the last lecture itself, we had discussed about this. That is the grayish black residue which is left out in the test tube. That is called as the coke. Coke is ultimately coal. From that you are removing all the moisture and the volatile matter, then that is coke. Then we also discussed about the uses of coke, I hope you remember still. The uses were, it is used in the domestic fuel, in the manufacturing of the various gases like water gas, that is CO plus H2, and the producer gas, that is CO plus N2. In making various carbides like aluminum carbide, then silicon carbide, calcium carbide, magnesium carbide, various types of carbides. Then it is also used as a reducing agent. Meaning of the word reducing agent, I had explained you that from the ore we are getting metal in the oxide form. From metal oxide, what do we get is from metal oxide we remove the oxygen by the help of coke, and that is the way by which it works as a reducing agent. Reducing means removing the oxygen. That's all for what we had done beforehand, and now today we are going to move further with the next particular content, and that is coal tar. When you are going anywhere, you might have seen on the roads that how the roads are getting prepared. I think you might have witnessed at least once in your life, and when you are passing from the nearby, you cannot keep your nose closed. You have to ultimately take the smell, and what type of smell you get? You get an unpleasant odor. Okay, the black tarry substance that is present, that is obtained at the bottom of the test tube when we are doing the destructive distillation of the coal, that is called as coal tar. So we are doing coal tar. It is having an unpleasant odor. You don't like to smell it. It is containing more than 200 compounds. Okay, coal tar, it is not one particular compound. It is having more than 200 different compounds inside it. I'm not talking about coal. Coal is over. Coke is also over. I'm talking about the residue that was obtained in the next flask, in the next particular test tube. So, contains more than 200 compounds. More than 200 compounds are obtained from just the coal tar. Okay, it is highly viscous liquid. And it is very thick. Very thick, you might have seen it. So it is a highly viscous liquid. So these are some of the points, and it is one of the valuable material that is obtained from the coal. And the proportion of compounds that it is having, that is the coal tar. It is not a single substance as we discussed. It is containing various different materials. Now that materials depend on the depends upon the place from where we are obtaining the coal. Okay, so the coal tar is not always containing the fixed particular number of things. It depends on the place from where it is obtained and the variety of coal especially. Okay, because from different places we get different particular types of coal, and from which type of coal the coal tar is obtained, depending on that the various different substances are obtained from coal tar. So this is about the coal tar. Okay, black tarry substance, unpleasant odor, contains more than 200 compounds. It is highly viscous liquid. Okay, note down this. After that, we'll see to the uses of coal tar. Be quick. You are having exactly 1 minute to note it. After that, we'll see to the uses. Quick. I hope you have noted it. Okay. Now the uses. It is used in making all the synthetic dyes, perfumes. Okay, it is used in making synthetic dyes, perfumes, explosives. Okay, used in making synthetic dyes, perfumes, and explosive and various organic compounds. So this is how the coal tar is helpful to us, and various different substances are obtained from it. So what we discussed right now, we discussed about coal tar, right? The tarry substance, black tarry substance that is containing more than 200 compounds. It is highly viscous liquid with an unpleasant odor. Then the various uses of it are given over here. Used in making synthetic dyes, explosives, the perfumes, and the organic compounds. Kindly note it. After that, we'll just quickly, you are having 30 seconds to note it. After that, we'll start the coal gas. Quick. Be quick in noting this. Okay, over I think. Now we are starting on with coal gas. Right, we have already done coke, coal tar, and now we are doing the coal gas. Try to recall when the destructive distillation of coal, the diagram, just close your eyes and think about the diagram. Try it. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Close your eyes, quick. And just think about the diagram. Do whatever I am saying. You will try to think about the diagram from the second test tube, which is over here. You will you'll be able to recall that a pipe is coming out, and from that we had written coal gas. Think quick. Okay, so that is what the coal gas is, the gaseous material that is obtained by destructive distillation of coal. So it is the gaseous substance which is obtained by the destructive distillation of coal. The main constituents of coal gas are methane, hydrogen, and carbon monoxide. Methane formula is CH4. You have to learn it. Okay? main components of it? Methane, hydrogen and carbon monoxide. What is the molecular formula of methane? CH4, hydrogen is H2 and carbon monoxide is CO. The, the various constituents are present in different percentage that given to you in your textbook. If you'll just check out, you'll get a box and in that you might be it might be written that hydrogen is present by about 38 to 55 percentage. The methane is from 15 to about 22 percentage. The carbon monoxide, it is present from about 4 to 15 percentage, and nitrogen also they have given, but it is present in very less proportion, that is from 2 to 20 percentage. You don't have to learn these constituents, it's just for information. The calorific value of coal gas is very high. Why the calorific value of the coal gas is very high? Okay, why the calorific value of coal gas is very high? Because all the constituents that are present in it, that is hydrogen, methane and carbon monoxides, individually their calorific values are high and they are generally combustible. Okay, that means they start burning in presence of air. When ignited at particular temperature, some fixed amount of temperature is given and that particular temperature when obtained, they generally produce the gases. They produce and ignite and ultimately give the energy. The energy obtained is very, very, very high. So what we did right now, we did coal gas. It is the gaseous thing that is obtained by destructive distillation of coal. What are its major constituents? Its major constituents are methane, hydrogen and carbon monoxide. You don't have to memorize the percentage, as I said. It has high calorific value. The calorific value of the coal gas is very, very, very high. Okay, how is actually the various things, the coal, there is a coal gas plant and how the various processes are carried out. That also I'll take a special lecture on it. But right now, note down this and you're having exactly 1 minute for noting it. Quickly note it so that we can move further on the next particular topic, that is the uses of this coal gas. It's very easy, but quickly note it. I hope it's done. Now let's move for the uses of coal gas. Coal gas, it is also used as in the metal extraction process, as we discussed. What is extraction of metal? That means you're from the ore, you're obtaining the metal. So it is used in metal extraction process. This is the common use. Metal extraction process. Next, it is used as an illuminant in domestic or street lighting. Okay, you might be knowing in the street lighting, many times it's coal gas that's used as a fuel. So, next particular thing is about the coal gas. It is used in the metal extraction process as an illuminant in the street lighting and as a domestic or industrial fuel. So these are are about the uses of coal gas. Quickly note it. I'm giving you 30 seconds for it, and after that, we'll start on with the next particular session of petroleum. Be quick. First, we'll discuss about petrol, and then we'll move further with how it is obtained, what are its compositions, what things it is containing, and in which form, how it was formed. Okay? Be quick. So now, let's start on with petroleum. This is clear, I suppose. So, petrol. You already know about the basic things of petroleum, right? The thing that you know is petroleum is a fossil fuel. What is petroleum? A fossil fuel. That means it is obtained from the dead organisms like was it in the coal. But petroleum is very much different than coal because it is obtained in the liquid form. There are various components that are present in petroleum, and like we did the destructive distillation of coal, in the same way fractional distillation of petroleum is carried out, and more than 2,000 products at a go are obtained. Okay, you might have heard about the petroleum refinery of the Reliance. So once they start on the fractional distillation process of petroleum, more than 2,000 products are obtained. So you can well imagine how much important petroleum is. The composition of the petroleum is different depending on the place from where it is obtained. So it depends on the composition depends on the place from where the petroleum is obtained. It is very much useful. You already know our life is totally depending on this particular thing, that is petrol. It is occurring very deep beneath the oceans. We are getting it. So that is what it is differing. It is a very viscous, that means a sticky liquid and dark colored. You might have seen the petroleum, right? Its color varies from amber to black. So petroleum, a viscous dark colored liquid, a fossil fuel that is obtained from crude oil. Okay, crude oil, that is the oil which is obtained from the ocean. The mineral oil. Fossil fuel generally obtained in the liquid form. Its composition is depending from the place to place. What does it contain? It basically contains hydrogen, sulfur, nitrogen, and other hydrocarbons. This is what petroleum is made up of. Generally, it contains hydrogen, sulfur, nitrogen, and various other particular hydrocarbons. Whenever we are getting the crude oil, then along with the crude oil, it is also containing the saline water, that is from, because it is obtained from the ocean. So it is containing the saline water, the other oil particles that are present in the ocean. So all these things are obtained from the mineral oil that we are getting, but these are the things that needs to be separated, and pure petroleum needs to be formed. various different things like kerosene, naphtha, lubricating oil, petroleum gases, all these things are obtained from the mineral oil, crude oil. So, crude oil, petroleum is the thing that is very much useful, and it is also called as the crude oil, and we obtain it by refining it. Just note this down: fossil fuel obtained in the liquid form. Be quick in noting. After that, we'll understand on how was the petroleum formed. Like how we discussed how was the coal formed in the same way, we are going to discuss how was petroleum formed. And be quick. First, I'll explain you with the help of the blocks, and then we'll understand its diagram. That is given to you in the book. Be quick in noting. Remember this: hydrogen, sulfur, nitrogen, and other hydrocarbons. Whatever things are not essential, I'm telling you that don't remember it. But whatever things are necessary, you have to learn it. Okay? What actually happens? Dead organisms in the ocean, various organisms are living inside the ocean, right? You already know. What happens? Once they died, they just settle at the bottom of ocean. What does it happen? They settle in the bottom, and after getting settled, it gets covered by the layer of sand. And for millions of years, at high temperature and high pressure, when these organisms were buried, the thing that was formed was the mineral oil. How it got mineral oil that was found in the impervious rocks. Okay, we'll look at its diagram also, but this is the flow chart of it. How you have to remember just this much. These were the dead organisms which are present in the sea. They were covered by the layer of the sand, and for millions of years at high temperature, high pressure, in absence of air. This is very important. In absence of air, the reactions took place and the mineral oil was formed from the carbon content that was present in this dead organisms. And this is how the petroleum or the crude oil or the mineral oil is obtained. Okay, just very quickly note this block diagram. After that, we'll look at the diagram of it. Quick. You're having exactly 1 minute to note it. After that, we'll start on with the diagram. Be quick enough. Your last 30 seconds. To note it. Now let's move further with the diagram of its formation. Many times in exams the diagrams are also coming, so you need to be very careful while doing it. You have to remember everything, okay? Where is which rock, it's very important for you to learn it. And all these things are occurring inside the ocean. Okay, very first over here are the impervious rocks. And the oil and the gas, all these things, they get settled over here only. Here is the oil. Okay. So, now the diagram of the petroleum. Okay, we are going to see on how its formation is, and means when we are obtaining it, the petroleum and natural gas deposits, how they are generally. You are having the impervious rocks over here. Okay. And there is the oil obtained from here. Rocks don't have the perfect structure, so it's drawn like this. Here you get oil. Here is gas. Here is water. And from oil and gas, the wells are enrolled so that we get the particular thing. Okay, so these are the wells from where we can extract the oil and gas. Okay, this is what you have to remember about. The oil is generally obtained above the water, and it is obtained above the water because the density is varying. Okay, then above the oil we are having the gas, that is the natural gas, and from the wells the gas as well as the natural, from the gas as well as the oil are extracted, and then we get the crude oil along with the natural gas. The composition of the natural gas is varying. Okay, is it clear? I think now this is how Uh, from the soil, from the ocean, all these things are happening at high temperature, high pressure, and in the absence of air. So I think now it's clear about the formation of petroleum. Okay, so the petroleum formation is now clear. Now let's move further with the next particular topic of today. The next content of the day is the mining of the petroleum. We all saw that the petroleum is obtained in the deep inside the earth. And at what depth it is generally obtained? It is obtained at the depth of few hundreds to about 2 to 3 kilometers. In India, for the very first time, the petroleum was obtained from Assam. And this is just for your informations. The holes are generally drilled, and with the help of the pipes they are extracted, and then it is later on refined. This is how we get the petroleum, and the natural gas is obtained at the portion that is above the oil, right? You have already seen on how its formation is taking place. If I talk about the natural gas, then this is the gas that is present generally above the oil, and so this gaseous cover is called as the natural gas. So I hope you have understood the content of the day. Let's have a quick look on whatever part we did today. Today we started from coal tar. I hope that you remember we started from coal tar. What is coal tar? It is the tarry substance that is obtained by the destructive distillation of coal. Highly viscous liquid with some unpleasant odor. You don't like to smell it, and it is having more than 200 compounds. Then we discussed about the uses of coal tar it is used in the formation of synthetic dyes, perfumes, explosives, and in various other organic compounds. Then we discussed about coal gas. I hope you remember that coal gas is generally containing hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and methane gas in various different proportions, and I said that you don't have to remember the percentage. The calorific value of coal gas is very high because the constituent particles, that is hydrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide, they have high calorific value. Then we discussed about the uses of coal gas. It is very good fuel, and it is used as a domestic illuminant in the domestic or street lighting. Then it is used in the extraction of metal, try to recall, and as a fuel for the heating purpose. Then we discussed about the petroleum. Petroleum, the name itself is made up of two words, petro and oleum. Petro means rocks, and oleum means oil. That is the oil that is obtained from the rocks. It is a viscous dark liquid, and its color is varying from amber to black. Then it is found deep inside the ocean. It is lighter than water, so it is obtained above water. And coming to its composition, try to recall hydrogen, sulfur, nitrogen, and various other hydrocarbons are present in the petroleum. Then we discussed on how was the petroleum formed. Because various organisms, they got buried beneath the surface of the ocean, that surface got covered by the layer of sand, and for millions of years at high temperature, high pressure, in the presence of bacteria and in the absence of air for a long period, for about millions of years, this process was carried out, it was going on, and this lead to the formation of mineral oil. Then at above the layer of the mineral oil, the various gases are obtained, and these gases are called as the natural gases. After that, we discussed about the mining of petroleum. Then in that, we know that petroleum needs to be extracted from the oil, because you cannot get it directly from the pipes. You need the pumps, so that with the help of pressure difference it will extract the oil out. So the crude oil will gush out because of the pressure changes from the pump, and as in how for fetching the water we are using the water pumps. Similarly, for fetching the petroleum we are using various different types of pumps. So this is how the petroleum is actually obtained from the earth's crust, and this is how we are getting the petroleum. So that's all for the content of the day. I hope that you have understood all the content that was taught today. In our next particular session, we will see about the refining of petroleum. The petroleum refining is not a simple process. How much simple the diagram is, that much difficult the refining is. Okay, it's not a simple process. The various components we got from coal were by the destructive distillation of coal, and the various components that we will be getting from the petroleum, that is by the fractional distillation of petroleum. So that's all for the content of the day. I hope that you enjoyed today's session. In our next particular session, we will see how the refinery actually is. So that's all for the content of the day. With this, last one or two words, that is, do keep doing your homework regularly, okay? Because I don't want anyone to come in the list of homework not done. Do follow all the instructions given by the school. Take all the necessary precautions against COVID-19. Don't roam here and there. Okay, that's all for the content of the day. Thank you and have a very good day, all of you. Bye-bye. Bye.